this is the one where they land on the planet Vortis,
which is inhabited by bees and ants.
and other really badly designed costume creatures.
Who will not stop bleeping.
And just when you think this serial is finally over,
it keeps going for another 5 worthless minutes.
It's called the Web Planet.
Ugh, here we go.
We're embarking on a voyage all through time and all through space.
Encountering Daleks, Thalanud, and the Cybertronic race.
Sontarans look like taters, and Silurians all have wonky scales.
And the Doctor has a TARDIS, we're reviewing all his tales. Who back when? Reviewing all of who there is. Who back when?
Subscribe and rate on iTunes, please.
Episode by episode, we're trudging down this temporal road. Come join us on this odyssey. What other choice could there be than Who back when?
Who back when?
Hello and welcome to episode 13 of Who Back When. I am Ponkin.
And I'm the Flaphammer.
Yes, you are. And today we are sad to announce that we will be reviewing The Web Planet.
Which, if anybody hasn't seen this...
Don't watch it.
Well,
Save yourselves. God.
It's bad, but it's not even bad in that fun kind of way.
No,
like,
not really.
Okay, we have like over-rinsed the Edge of Destruction. But
then again, there are people who think lots of stuff is fun. Like, there are people who shit on each other's chests for fun.
Yes.
Those same people would enjoy this episode.
But the Edge of Destruction, at least it was short, at least it was concise, and it had like an obviously stunningly stupid moment in it, which we could all laugh at, which was great.
This serial has lots of stupid moments.
Yeah, but they're like unfunny stupid. They're just
the
like...
dance routine?
The hands of the bees. It's just like, this is embarrassing.
Oh.
Anyway, let's lead off, as we have been doing in the past few episodes, with our little bite-sized chunk of Who, just to... lead people into the episode who may not have seen it.
Yeah, okie dokie.
So the TARDIS is being pulled down, or dragged down, to the planet Vortis, which seems to be a craggy, desolate, barren land.
Yeah, like moon-like. Transpires the place is inhabited by various man-sized insects who capture our protagonists.
But something a little bit weird is going on, and an alien force has enslaved these ant-like Zarbi creatures and stolen the planet out from underneath these bee-like Menoptera creatures.
Yeah, furthermore, this force, called the Animus, has built a web or whatever, which the remaining Menoptera are planning to attack. End of bite-sized chunk of Who. Oh my god.
Yeah. So, we condensed that down into like 15 seconds.
Yeah. That's how long this episode should have been.
Yeah, there were 6 episodes of this.
6 episodes.
And as I noted as we were watching it, and yes, we watched this one together, they're all longer than the usual length of Doctor Who episodes.
Yeah, they're like 25 minutes long.
It's like they added a bit on.
Before we go into the actual review, let's discuss. There are such super long sequences in the serial that have no effect. They have no value to anyone in the universe.
Do you know what? As I said to you during,
15 seconds of watching
Ian stuff, I stopped recording notes. Every time Ian appeared on screen, I was just like, well, this isn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
It obviously doesn't matter.
No, it makes no sense.
I don't care about this plot line. I guess they had to get Ian to do something, but couldn't they have lumped him in with Barb?
What? Maybe they just got tired. I don't know. I reckon that Ian was actually meant to go on holiday, and it was meant to be one of those episodes, but then, I don't know, his flight got cancelled or something, or he didn't get the flu inoculation, and then they had to write him back into it.
I think it's darker than that. Ian's character... Yeah, Ian's character has been going steadily downhill for the last few episodes.
That's not true.
He started out all guns blazing. No, he hasn't had... He hasn't had great plots. Yeah.
He was pretty cool in the last episode, the Romans. He was a galley slave.
That's true, actually, no.
He pissed off everyone in the Roman Empire. He was awesome.
That's
Before that, the rescue...
Ian became...
Actually, what did he do in the rescue? Oh yeah, he Indiana Jones'd around the laziest trap ever. This is not the rescue episode, people. We're going to review the Web Planet now. Okay.
I think Ian's character has been going downhill. I think he's become more one-dimensional, and I think his plot lines have become poorer. Which is exhibited nowhere better than in this episode. I mean...
Shall we Google what this guy has written before?
It's just superfluous. What was his name? It was Bob
Butterfield. Okay, so we just Googled the writer, Bill Strutton.
Well, couldn't find out very much about him, other than...
He's only written one episode, or one serial.
And... serial, this worst ever episode of Doctor Who,
is also the first ever episode of Doctor Who, or serial of Doctor Who, to be novelised!
Oh my god!
There are people who actually bought the novelization of this story to read it.
There's nothing to suggest anybody bought it, but it was written.
Oh, why? Who had that brainchild? Alright, I think it might be time.
I think it's time to crack on.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we start properly, kind of an apology. After episode 4, I sort of zoned out. So, my notes...
Nobody would blame me.
I've written 8 pages of notes. Episode 5 starts on page 7. So we open up basically where we ended the last time. The TARDIS is being pulled down to some planets, this lunar-like planet.
Yeah, which is something they do wrap up circa episode 5.
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty much. Anyway, so they've been pulled down to the surface. Just want to make a quick note how this whole thing is introduced. We are on a planet, which is the planet where this whole thing takes place.
I'd almost forgotten. Yeah.
Then we pan up to reveal a moon, upon which we then see the title, The Web Planet. Like, it couldn't get more confusing from moment 1.
And, by the way, I would like to retitle this entire serial from The Web Planet to The Clangers. Which it completely is. We'll get to that.
We will get to that. So anyway, pan back down to the TARDIS materialising, and...
Ian suggests that they're on the moon, and then punches Barb in the vagina.
Elbows her... yeah.
And then cut outside to the worst alien ever. I say that. At this point, it was the worst alien ever. We're going to see 2 that were worse later.
It's like you're reading from my notes, dude. Like, literally reading from my notes.
But it's a fly with human legs that is making the noises of the clangers.
Wait. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Because we don't have that much to say about circa half of this serial, let's focus on some details. 2 minutes, 44 seconds in, the Doctor goes, question is it a natural phenomena, singular, plural, deliberate, or for a purpose? It's deliberate or for a purpose. Just want to say, this is the second time I've reacted to one of these things. I just want to... Sorry, people. So tired. All right, so... Anyway, Vicky appears to get some sort of headache. Yeah. And she gets this headache when we see the ants. Right?
And we can hear the ringing of the clangers.
The clangers, yeah. So, okay, fuck it. Sorry for the little tangent there. Yeah, the ants turn up. Mm-hmm. The ants are the Zarbi. They are guys wearing ant costumes. They are terrible looking. They have human legs. Whatever. And
a little hole in their chest where
they can look out.
You can see their eyes.
Really? I couldn't see their eyes, but you can definitely see where they look out of. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they start clanging, and Vicky, inside the TARDIS, appears to get some sort of headache.
No one else can hear it, and the Doctor explains this as, it's just an extrasonic sound.
Yeah.
Extrasonic is a new word to me.
Extrasonic sounds being what young... children and animals can perceive.
Yeah.
Extrasonic, correct me if I'm wrong, means outside of, like, audible, whatever?
Yeah, I would say so. Well, I wouldn't say extrasonic is a word, but, like, if it was a word, that is what it would mean.
Oh my god. Cut back outside.
To the second worst alien.
Yeah, yeah, I've got them down as DustBuster Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
They're crawling around on the floor, they've got these really pointy, nosy things, and we find out later on that they're like laser beam things.
And they also beep.
Everything
incessantly.
Okay, so shall we maybe have an example sound?
Yeah.
Just an example soundbite. This is what the ants sound like. And this is what the DustBuster sounds like.
Jesus Christ.
You're welcome.
A cacophony of pain.
Yeah, that goes on for roughly 120 minutes. Mm-hmm. This is all pretty terrible. We're maybe 4 minutes into the episode. So, anyway, the TARDIS fails to dematerialize properly, and then the 2 ants and the DustBuster raise like a web around it. Explain, please. Why, if they really wanted this to be a planet of creepy crawlies, and it's even called the Web Planet, why isn't there a spider among them right now? In fact... Well, there isn't really going to be a spider.
It's building. Well, we're told it's a spider.
It's not a spider! It is not a spider. It is a piece of coleslaw. That's what it is. It's not a spider. Oh, okay. Whatever.
It's an egg salad sandwich. Yeah.
So the TARDIS begins to shake. Bob, for an instance, notices a flash on the scanner, and the Doctor explains that the ship is without power and utterly useless.
But he again writes off the fact that she's seen this flash and just says, "Oh, it's just some cosmic ray." So far he's just had it's just an extrasonic sound and it's just some cosmic ray, but otherwise it's 100% safe.
Yeah. And not just that, then Vicky Plainface she's feeling quite poorly, and Bob, as though the edge of discretion never happened, asks the Doc if he has such a thing as a sedative.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good, right?
A bit of Zopiclone, yeah.
And then 7 minutes in, she says that she's going to tidy up the TARDIS. Which is great.
Yeah.
She starts cleaning up the TARDIS. She's a woman in 1964, she's got to clean.
There's a fun interlude. So Ian and the Doctor decide that they're going to go outside to investigate, see what's going on. The Doctor's already determined that there are poor oxygen levels and the air is thin.
Yeah, he did a scanning, he did a scan.
Yeah, he did a little scan. And he hands Ian what he calls a respiratory suit.
Yeah, really? I think he refers to them as ADJs. Atmospheric density jackets.
Oh, I yield. Your experience.
There you go.
Superior.
And boy, are they atmospheric.
But so we should explain this suit doesn't cover their face.
No. It is a parka with two little funnels on the chest.
Is it even a parka? It's like a vest. You can cover their arms.
But they're essentially windbreakers. And Ian doesn't even zip his jacket up. But so there is no power to the doors. Let's speed through this shitty serial Flappy. No power to the doors. How does the Doc open the doors?
This is the first real time we see the ring come into play. I'm not really sure what he does. He seems to take his ring off, put it next to a machine, and then flap his hand in front of the machine.
Yeah, which somehow
opens the doors.
Which
seems unnecessary.
Totally unnecessary.
Given that they usually just go outside by just opening the doors.
Yeah, exactly.
Why was this important? It does become important that the ring does stuff later in the episode.
Yeah. There are so many logic flaws with how the doors open and close in this episode. Yeah. As in episode 1 of this serial. But before we go into that, the ring... So the ring is very important, right? The ring controls the TARDIS doors.
Yeah.
Yeah. He pawned that ring during the French Revolution in exchange for a hat and a coat.
Yeah.
That ring was worthless.
And you know what? He's going to do it again. He's going to give it away to a bee.
Yeah, but this time... spoiler alert. But this time, he does actually acknowledge that it is of vital importance to him.
Yeah. Then we get a moment of light relief where Bob and Vicky are left alone in the TARDIS.
Yeah, Bob roofies Vicky.
She deserved roofing. She's taking the piss out of Bob constantly. Bob tries to give her aspirin, and Vicky says it's basically
I have never heard of this aspirin.
It's applying leeches. Bob tries to explain what her job is at school, like the 3 R's, and Vicky's just like, "What, do you teach at a spastic school or something?"
This is ridiculous, by the way. Not having attended an English school myself, I assumed that this was some sort of strange plot hole.
Yeah.
The 3 R's.
The 3 R's, no, that's real. That's real as anything.
What were they
again? Tories bang on about it constantly.
What were they again?
Reading, which is the 1 R, writing,
which is not an R,
and arithmetic,
which is not a word.
No, that's a real thing, unfortunately.
That is so sad. But
way to teach children how to spell.
I feel like we get a lot of parallels between Vicky and Edge of Discretion Susie in this episode, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, she's taken ill, she's being roofied, she's clearly a wunderkind because she starts talking about how advanced her future school was.
But the difference is, with Susan, we did see some evidence that she was a wunderkind.
Yeah.
Vicky is clearly a fucking retard.
Yeah, and Vicky is also clearly a child now.
You
cannot tell me that she is, I don't know, what did you say the last time? Oh, she's probably in her mid-20s. She is maybe 16. Maybe.
Well, you're only saying that because the Doctor babies her.
No, I'm saying that because she is a child, dude, and she's referred to as a child.
I think it's just the Doctor being condescending.
Yeah, but she doesn't go hey, dude, stop patting me on the head because I am 25 years old.
It's because she's in love with him.
Oh, God. Man, that would be a great sex scene. Okay. By the way, I've got it down as Vic's Vapor Rub from now on.
Fine.
Bob then tells Vapor Rub all about Nero. So finally, they get credit for their adventure in the last episode.
And draws attention, thus doing, to her bracelet.
Yeah, the gold bracelet, which is going to come into play very, very soon. Cut to the outside, where the Doc and Ian have found a boulder of mica.
Yeah, they're examining it.
And then Ian, the Doctor asks Ian if he has something, sharp. And he goes, "Oh, use my pen."
Yeah.
Pulls out his gold pen.
Which magically disappears.
Yeah, I rewound that and had a look at it again. It's attached to, a rubber band, and when he pulls it out, someone pulls it off screen.
Sure
it is hilarious.
It worked for me at the time. Without explanation, this makes the Doctor laugh hysterically.
Yeah, well, he starts treating Ian like a Susan.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Ian has become Susan since Susan left. He's that dense. He's lost all his intelligence. He's become
in this serial
detached.
Anyway. We've got a soundbite as well. 13 and a half minutes in, Ian says that he feels like they're being watched, and the Doc replies in 5 different ways that he doesn't think so. Soundbites? Yeah, soundbites.
No, I can't see any spooks or anything, no. I don't think so, no. Not particularly, no.
Thank you, Doctor. Much clearer now.
So we go back to the ship, and Barb is watching the Doctor and Ian on the monitor.
Yeah, I've got a question for you, actually. Sorry to interrupt. I've got a question for you. We saw the ants and Mr. Pointyface running around outside the TARDIS. Mm-hmm. It is a dusty lunar surface.
Yeah.
Right? There are no tracks. My theory, the DustBuster cleans it up. Seriously.
Well, I guess.
They're literally there. There are no tracks. It takes a while for them to see a track, which looks like something they have scratched there. But that's literally just one thing.
Yeah, there's a mop running around the planet.
Exactly. Oh, God.
Yeah, good. So cut back to the TARDIS, and Barb is watching the Doctor and Eon on the monitor.
Did you just go Eon?
Eon.
Eon. Nice.
Watching Doctor and Ian on the monitor, and the DustBuster is cleaning up.
She doesn't see a DustBuster. She doesn't see an ant. She has not seen any alien yet.
No.
But then something happens to her arm.
Yeah, it seems to start moving for some reason,
Yeah.
and she doesn't really know why. She's not in control of it.
But she seems very, uncomfortable with it.
Well, as you would be.
Yeah.
She goes into Vicky's room and starts talking about it, saying she's feeling really pensive. She's lost all control of her
she says
body.
it doesn't feel like it's mine.
Which, again, Vicky...
Vapor Up just laughs.
Just makes her laugh hysterically. Yeah.
Oh my God. And we see that Bob is legitimately shit up by this thing. But Vicky does not give a damn.
Loss of bodily function tends to scare you.
Yeah. And Bob even tries to explain I guess it's just my nerves or something. Cannot even finish the sentence. Just gets up and leaves. She is so shit up. Anyway, cut back outside to a reenactment of Marinus. Did you pick up on this? The pyramid?
Well, they're looking up and going, it's a built building.
Yeah. There is, on this barren, flat land, the biggest pyramid you have ever seen. And then all of a sudden they're like, wait, look at that.
Yeah.
You could see that from a mile away. Oh my God.
Although there is a perspective issue going on here for me. So you do see
the lens flares, you mean?
No, one of the creatures is hiding behind the pyramid at one point.
No, it's not behind the pyramid.
Yeah.
I think it's where that
shelter behind the pyramid.
Does it? I thought that was where the acid pool thingy was. That wasn't a pyramid. That was an obelisk.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah.
You might be
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This sucks, by the way.
They see the pyramid,
and
they notice just below them that there's another obelisk that has something that looks like water running around it.
Yeah.
And Ian goes in to inspect. He's just about to bathe himself.
Yeah, he basically tries to drink from this liquid. They haven't tested it. He has no idea that, it might be water, but it might contain some sort of bacteria that is, lethal to humans.
But the Doctor stops him, and says that he needs a tie.
Yeah.
Which, for some reason...
Ian is using as a belt. His old school tie
is being used as a belt.
He's such a bum in this episode. What happened to your belt, Ian?
Is this a sign of, how hard times are on the TARDIS?
Like, surely, okay, worst comes to worst, he could go back into the TARDIS and dig through Susan's old wardrobe that the Doctor just stole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that.
Covered with a vest. Like, and surely has more structural integrity and will hold up his trousers better.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Anyway, so the Doc takes the belt, dips it in this liquid, and fizzy pop, all of a sudden, it starts to, like, burn.
Yeah.
And, he explains, don't worry about it. Totally saved your life just now. You know what? This has nothing to do with the plot. Well, like, with this point in the plot. It's like the writer was asked to do a new Doctor Who serial, but had only ever seen Marinus and took all his inspiration from that. Like, in fact, okay.
Basically made a really shit carbon copy.
Yeah. Like, okay, alright, so wait, oh shit, I've got 2 days to write a Doctor Who serial that needs to be pretty long. How long should it be? Let's look at my 100% point of reference. Oh, it needs to be 6 episodes long. Oh, wait, it also needs to contain a tall building that no one's seen, like, for ages, even though it's right there next to them. It needs to contain acid that looks like water.
And also needs to contain multiple civilizations living within the same area.
Yeah. And
actually, there's more. There's even more. Like, there's the invasionary force who used to live there. That's also Marinus.
Yeah, totally.
And there's like the
ant creatures that look a little bit like Vought, kind of.
The whole thing, like even
the whole thing.
The dark being who's taking over.
This is low budget Marinus. This is basic. This is like if you went to Poundland and you bought a copy of. This is like the Asylum made their own version of Marinus. Oh my god, I'm so pissed off. All right.
So anyway, cut back to the ship, and Barb has been really badly affected by the sirens that are going off. I say sirens, the incessant beeping that's sort of getting inside my soul. And her body now starts moving all over the place. It's not just her arm. She's lost complete control and actually goes into a trance.
Yeah.
And starts walking outside.
Yeah. No explanation given whatsoever.
No, we do get an explanation
later on,
Cut to outside, and the Doctor thinks the noises are a message from a sentient being.
Yeah, or possibly from some sort of computer controlled by a sentient being.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just make something clear here. You're next to a building that was clearly built by someone.
Yeah.
Right? Now you're starting to suspect that perhaps there's something sentient around? That's ridiculous. Oh, okay, yeah. Cut back to the TARDIS. Vapor Rob wakes up. Check this out. Barb, when she leaves, like, she is about to exit the TARDIS doors open, she is zombified, walks out of the TARDIS doors close. Cut to Vapor Rob, who wakes up, flashes her thigh, walks to the main TARDIS, hallway or whatever.
And she starts losing
and the fucking doors are open! We saw them close 15 seconds ago, and they're suddenly still open. Oh, continuity error.
But Vicky starts panicking, because her limbs start to go out of control as well.
How are you not upset by this? This lackadaisical production.
There's more stuff to go on about.
Okay,
I'm saving it up. But she starts panicking because her limbs start going out of control, and her reaction to this is to start desperately smushing buttons on the control panel of the TARDIS.
Yeah, and we actually hear it dematerialise.
Yeah, it does.
We literally hear it dematerialise.
It does start dematerialising.
Yeah.
The Doctor then, lo and behold, walks up to where the TARDIS was and sees that it's disappeared.
Yeah. But wait.
With the impression the TARDIS has dematerialised.
There's something else that happens before that. Sorry, dude. Before he goes up to where the TARDIS was, he is separated from Ian in that some sort of...
Ian starts running for some reason.
And runs straight into some sort of plant thingy,
It looks like
type
army tarpaulin.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
that's exactly what... Tarpaulin? I would say tarpaulin.
Yeah,
it tarpaulin?
You'd probably be right.
Oh, sweet, the foreigner. Nice.
It is like midnight.
Oh shit, it is. midnight. Oh my god. Alright. But yeah, check this out. End of episode 1. Who gives a damn? This may have been written by the shittest hack writer to contribute to the show this far, by the way. But you know what? He actually upped the ante because one, Ian's trapped in a web of weeds. 2, Barb is zombified and walking straight into the acid pool. 3, there's an earthquake of some sort and Vapor Rob dematerializes the TARDIS. And 4, the Doc is heartbroken.
Yeah, and
all of that,
none of that happened.
And none of that is of consequence. Literally none of that is going to pan out.
As we get into episode 2, Barb is still walking around with one arm aloft, but For some reason, she has not stepped straight into the pool of acid that she was standing in front of.
No, there's a zombie ant dude who like and controls her around the pool.
Right, okay.
That's how she survives. Doc comes back to find Ian. All of a sudden, the worldwide weed
has disappeared.
is gone.
It's completely disappeared. And he's just passed out on the floor. Why he passed out, I don't know. Why did he pass out?
It's like
from desperately wrangling with the net. Did that make him pass out?
No, but it's one of those. What's it called? The weeds that burn you. What's that called in English?
Stinging nettles.
Yes, nettles.
Yeah, but if it was nettles, he'd have red.
Yeah, but he
marks
does.
All over
his face is all puffy.
Yeah,
do you remember? No, seriously.
I don't think it's stinging nettles.
Oh, it's totally what it is, dude. Because the doctor even says, he goes, "What's wrong with my face?" And he says, "Oh, it's totally swollen, man. Don't worry about it. We're going to get back to the TARDIS and I'll fix this." But first, he goes, "I have a shock for you. The ship, dude, vanished. It's gone." All right, the doc loses his shit because he's finding it hard to breathe. The jackets are wearing off. So they take off their jackets.
They're finding it hard to breathe because the jackets aren't working properly. So the reaction to this is to take them off completely.
Yeah, they are now on a moon.
Which they've tested and says that the air is really bad. You can't breathe down there.
It's really, really thin.
And their reaction is to take off whatever it was that was helping them. Yeah. How it was helping them, I don't know.
And now, bada bing, bada boom, the doc finally
Ian
sees...
just goes, "Do you know what? It's fine. Just breathe like a diver and you'll be alright."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, the doc now finally sees some ridges in the sand, and it turns out, they realise the TARDIS has been dragged away. Mm-hmm. Wait, what is happening? It dematerialised. It wasn't dragged away.
It was not dragged away.
Anyway, inside the TARDIS, Vapor Rob is being annoying. She sees an ant guy.
Surprise.
Yeah, she sees an ant guy through the scanner. Loses her shit. Cut back to Bob, who's being manipulated by a bee man.
A bumblebee man.
Yeah, henceforth referred to as a Liberace.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So, can we just say one thing at the start about these bees? So, they talk like robots, basically. French robots.
Really slow-moving
Really slow-moving French robots who move their arms like conductors incessantly.
Like conductors? I feel like
it's like, you know...
They move as though they were underwater, constantly trying to, whisk something away from in front of their face.
So we see, 6 of these, right? So is it possible they hired mimes for this part?
6 of them? 4 of them.
Is it only 4?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, is it...
No! It's 3 of them in total.
Whatever.
It's 3 of them.
Is
one
it
Liberace.
They hired mimes?
She meets a Liberace, takes her to 2 more Liberaces.
Right.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like...
No, we do see one later.
Oh, later on.
Spearhead.
Oh, there are plenty more Liberaces later on, but for now there are only 3 of them.
Right, yeah.
And she's still zombified.
Yep. They're taken to, so, as you said, taken to the other 2, so they're in the group. And one of them rubs a shard of glass through Barb's hair.
I was going to say, screenshot 6.5 minutes in, they marvel at her hair.
Yeah, well, but they actually run a blade of glass through it. Yeah. Which we never see again.
For no reason whatsoever.
And another one of them takes off her bracelet and throws it into the acid.
Yeah, and then she comes to. She is instantly de-zombified.
Yeah, which will make sense in a second.
So she then tries to escape, but they then flap their shower curtain wings and tell her to stay where she is. Oh, by the way, they speak English. So... Oh, God.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Doctor and Ian have followed the TARDIS tracks to their end, and suddenly the tracks stop.
Yeah.
And then they find a massive fly larva.
Yeah,
on
Ian
the
just
floor.
steps on this chrysalis. Doctor deduces that...
What was the point of this scene?
I can only deduce one thing. Because he has stepped on this chrysalis, he guesses that they may be on the vortice. Is what he says.
Right.
Because he sort of recognises it as insectoid, obviously, and goes, alright, well, there's this place, the vortice. By the way, he refers to it as the vortice. Right. And then, from the next scene on, everyone is...
Vortice.
It's just a vortice. Yeah. You do not need a definite article. Alright, so, he does, however, say, it's kind of weird, this reminds me of the vortice, but the vortice hasn't got a moon. And they look around and there are, tons of moons. Mm. He also looks at Ian and says, Menoptera, does that mean anything to you, my boy? What a fucking asshole!
Why the fuck would it?
That is ridiculous.
Condescending little grey-haired bastard.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Barb. She's talking to the tiger bees, and they want to kill Barb because she's an intruder. Like, they're very fearful. She was, we are told, under the spell of the Zarbi.
Yeah.
Yeah, or under the force of the Zarbi. And as such should be treated as an enemy, or at least somebody who the Zarbi are aware of and might lead to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when she tells them her whole story, they just do not buy it.
No.
They honestly do not care. But we do learn from the Liberaces that they are called the Menoptera, i.e. the dudes that the doc just referred to.
Yep.
And, yeah, next up, big hair escapes.
Well, she does more than escape. Like, she
bashes one of the shower curtains.
Bashes one of them over the head with a 2x4. Yeah. But which they're not offended by.
Wait, I've got a question for you. There's a plank.
Yeah. There's a plank.
She bashes the shower curtain with a plank. Where did that plank come from?
What the fuck? It's like a perfectly formed piece of wood.
Yeah.
There
are no trees.
That's clearly
there are no plants.
Well, there's no, like, industrial level saw. Like,
no.
Like, this is a perfectly formed plank of wood for making shelving.
Oh, God. Alright, so anyway, then Ian and Doc, they see... So big hair escapes.
Yeah.
And then Ian and Doc see where the TARDIS has been taken, like this kind of city, this compound or whatever.
Yeah.
And just after that, they are surrounded by these, Zarbi ant dudes and a DustBuster.
And the mop, yeah.
Yeah. And the Doc says to stand still and obey because these creatures are completely unknown to me. What? Like, a minute ago, you were quizzing Ian about the Menoptera, and now it's like, this whole world is unknown to me. And also, just because I don't know anything about this, you need to shut up.
Well, to be fair, I mean, what you'd have to assume is that the last time the Doctor came, the bee people were in charge, as we are told about the planet.
That's true, but the bee people did also say, well, they say later on, that the Zarbi were part of, like, the ecosystem. Mm-hmm. They were, like, a perfectly natural, integral part, in fact, of the ecosystem.
That's true.
So if he had been there...
They've been taken over by the Dark Force.
Shamalama ding dong.
So, yeah, that makes no sense. You're right.
Yeah. So, anyway, meanwhile in the TARDIS, Vaporub is startled as the doors open, and...
He just walks outside and is captured by the Zarbi.
Yeah, by the way, how do they open the doors?
Yeah.
Like...
As you say, like, the doors...
I'm so annoyed.
They have a will of their own. Let's
yeah,
just
they
leave
do.
it at that. They have a will of their own.
Got another thing about the doors, by the way. The outside of the doors, when viewed from the inside, look like the inside of the TARDIS. You know, the inside of the TARDIS has all these, like, circles or whatever? Yeah. So when the doors open, you can see what the doors look like from the outside.
Right,
yeah. And they look exactly like they do on the inside, which makes no sense. Currently, in Doctor Who, when the TARDIS doors open, you see, like, the blue wooden surface over the door.
Yeah.
Even when it's, like, viewed from the inside.
Yeah.
Because that is what the exterior of the TARDIS looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas here, that does not work.
Mm.
So somewhere between opening and closing, they just shift from blue wood to funky 1960s things.
In New Doctor Who, are the doors, like, completely separate on the inside?
Yeah, they're like actual blue wooden doors.
Yeah, exactly. On the inside, they look blue.
Yeah.
And on the outside, obviously, they still look blue.
Yeah.
So no change has to occur.
Exactly.
But here it does.
Oh, God.
Whatever.
Alright. Tangent over. Okay, so go for it.
So we cut to Ian and the Doctor, and they notice that the cell in which they're being held is made out of plants, which are regenerating.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Doctor also...
Ian finds this remarkable, by the way. What do you mean? That is exactly what organic matter does, Bozo. You're a science teacher.
That's what I thought. Like, okay, they've established it's a plant.
Yeah.
It looks like a plant, and it's like, oh, it's regenerating.
I was like, oh, it's growing.
Like,
oh, that's amazing!
Photosynthesis? Like, is this really news to you?
Apparently. Anyway.
And they're brought together in a room with Vicky and the TARDIS.
Are they? Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a great line from the doc here, by the way. He says, history doesn't mean anything when you travel through space and time. Very nice.
Well, that's quite true, but he clearly... This
is totally out of context, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's not really. He said that in response to Ian going, well, it seems like you know some stuff about this planet.
Yeah, so can you tell me more about the history?
Yeah, and he just basically goes, fuck off. Like... It's all become meaningless because, you know, we're time travellers, so it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
he's never said that when he's been on another planet. It has always mattered.
Yeah.
And it would have been pretty vital information here.
Okay, that is true.
Like, if he had been able to tell Ian and the rest of the crew the whole story about, okay, well, the bee people used to rule here, and, like, these ant people used to be part of the ecosystem, like...
Yeah, but he doesn't do that.
No.
He clearly knows about them, though. Maybe he's just read about them. Maybe he's read about the Menoptera, and that's it.
Right, okay.
Maybe that is it. Because he doesn't recognise the planet when he's there. He doesn't Okay, on the other hand, the planet is now barren, and it didn't used to be.
Yeah.
So maybe he's confused by that. Anyway, at this point in my notes, I've just written, these fucking ants will not stop bleeping.
So, Ian, Doctor, Vicky, and the TARDIS are all trapped inside a room. We get a quick cutscene of Barb being captured by the Zarbi.
Yeah, we also see an ant trying to enter the TARDIS and panicking.
Really?
Yeah. Right before Div are reunited. Or Vid, if you want. Go for it. What were you going to say? Something about Barbara?
So we get a very quick cutscene of Barbara being captured by the Zarbi, because she's just escaped from the bee people.
Yeah.
So she's taken by the Zarbi. Then we cut back to the bee people, and they discuss how they've got to get all the animals together to try and fight the Zarbi.
The animals?
Is that right?
I don't know.
I think that's my handwriting. So we cut back to the tiger
I'm keeping
bees.
that in the episode.
Fuck you.
That is great.
So we cut back to the tiger bees, and they're discussing...
Tiger bees?
Yes. And they're discussing how they've got to get basically all of their people together to fight the Zarbi.
Nice save.
Yeah. And then they start talking into a crystal thing, which is very reminiscent of Superman.
Yeah, very. My observation as well. The female Liberace, the Shibarachi, is saying they need to tell the Zarbi about the force of the Animus, is what I've written.
Right.
Which also makes no sense.
All these words get quite confusing.
Yeah.
Which leads us into a very confusing fight scene.
Ugh.
I mean, well, it's not so much confusing as just production-wise, it is just utter chaos.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. Before we get to the fight, let's just say what they try to radio out.
Alright.
So they use this crystal thing, it's basically a radio. And she says, pilot party to Menoptera invasion force.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically, shit is going down, let us know what the deal is.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. But at least we know, or as far as we know now, they are trying to invade.
Yes.
We don't know their motives.
So
we know that they're trying to invade.
Well, at this point, we think the bees are bad, really. I mean, they've captured Barb, they want to kill Barb, and they're invading.
Yeah, at this point, I thought everyone was bad.
Yeah.
Like, basically, this is a planet where lots of evil races are fighting each other, and the troopers just gotten caught in the crossfire.
Anyway, just after they make this phone call, the Zarbi arrive with Barb. Barb has led them there, as they had feared. So the Zarbi arrive with the mop, and as I was saying before, there is a chaotic fight scene.
Crazy chaotic. One of the Liberaces is murdered.
But do you know what? Like, all of the creatures make such similar noises. Like, it's just loads of really badly dressed, like, costume animals bleeping, making noises, like, and everything's just everywhere.
About the costumes, by the way, I showed you the Google image search. People of Podcast Land, if you watch the Venture Brothers, these, what are they called again? The Menoptera? Mm-hmm. They look exactly like the Monarch's henchmen. That is precisely what they look like. If you don't know what that is, just Google image search it. That is exactly what they look like. It's crazy.
Except, I think it's slightly worse, because they've got tiger paint bases on, which is why I keep calling them tiger bees.
Tiger bees. Dude. Check this out. Okay. Fantastically profound moment in this production. Sorry, this is a slight tangent, but back in the beginning, when Barb was cleaning up the TARDIS, when she was tidying up, did you notice what she was, like, dusting off?
No.
It was a sample of a butterfly. She was cleaning a butterfly sample and, like, taking care of it. And she is then, spoiler alert, going to be, like, the hero of the butterfly people or whatever, the bee people. Do you reckon they're... You know what? I reckon they're butterflies, not bees.
Well, no, they're definitely bees.
They look like bees, but they've got, like, these massive antennae that make them look like butterflies. They're striped like bees, but they've got heads like butterflies.
Interesting.
And I think also the wings of butterflies.
Okay, well, that's a super confusing costume.
I don't... I can't be held responsible.
I can see what you're saying, actually, now. Like, and actually...
Because they are
they're not bees, are they? They've got no stingers.
They have no stingers, and also they are, like, essentially the good guys here. We find out later on, spoiler alert, who gives a shit? We can spoil the hell out of this story, no one cares. But like, they are essentially the good guys, and I don't think...
Bees would be necessarily good.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think you may be right.
So, alright, butterfly people. Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
So, let's get back to the fight. It is terrible. It is super violent. It is very short and very poorly choreographed. One of
Just like that sentence.
Yeah, sorry. One of the Liberaces gets killed. Another one runs away, I think? Yeah. Maybe? Yes. Another one runs away. The Shibarachi runs away.
Yeah.
And then Fatty Liberace escapes with Bob. And is then... Or both of them are actually captured by the Zarbi.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is...
Yeah.
They have wings. Why don't they just fly away?
Well, they're inside at this point, right?
They're not inside, are they?
Yeah, they are inside.
Are they really?
They're in like a cave.
Oh.
That's where they were holding Bob, in a cave.
Well, why
But
would
it's
they
true,
hide in a cave?
They don't seem able to just immediately fly. In fact, the first
They do
time,
later on.
the first time we see one actually fly off, I think maybe the only time we see it fly off,
Mm.
it jumps off the edge of a cliff, almost like it's like can only fly like with a hand gliding kind of technique.
Yeah, maybe. But
Possibly.
either way, they can fly.
Yeah,
They clearly can fly, but they don't seem to use this to their advantage at all.
No.
In fact, when they fight
because
later
the
on,
ants can't fly.
yeah, and when they fight later on, it's like let's take this fight to the ground. Let's call in the infantry instead of the air force. You idiots! You idiots!
But the Liberace girl explains that to Bob that they're going to be enslaved in a place called the Crater of Needles.
Yeah, and then he gets his wings clipped.
Yeah. Well, and that's what happens to all slaves. I guess it's like hobbling.
Yeah, it's exactly like hobbling.
Yeah.
They aren't allowed to fly away, so or like whatever. That is their advantage. Let's take their advantage away.
My next note is we cut back to the doctor, and he's trying to communicate with.
The worst example
with
of
the
sign
Zarbi,
language.
using sign language.
It is literally like everybody
My
was
note
kung
is-
fu fighting.
It's unsuccessful,
So
but
good.
very funny.
So funny. Oh,
You need to screenshot that.
no, we'll definitely screenshot that. Alright, then we get to the end of the episode where he's tried the sign language, no dice. The Zarbi lower this plastic bonnet from where? We don't know. And
A
it's lowered-
plastic bonnet, which, by the way, can
speaks
appear...
English.
It speaks English and can appear anywhere at any time.
Yeah, literally anywhere. It's coming from the ceiling, but like, we don't know
Even
where.
at times where there is no ceiling. Like it's just plain sky.
No, I think it's always in the same room.
Is it always inside?
I think it's in the same
No,
room.
it's not always in the same room. It does move from room to room, but like I guess it is inside the web.
No, I think it is in the same room because it's always next to the TARDIS and the map thingy.
Right, okay.
Oh, maybe you're right. I don't know. Whatever. When he's wearing this translucent plastic bonnet on his head, a voice, surprise, surprise, in English as opposed to in bleeps, asks, "Why have you come now?" A female voice, by the way.
Yeah.
Episode 3, Escape to Danger.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's a nice paradox there.
It is.
He's adding some tension, some linguistic tension. Well done. What's your face, Bill? Bill, what was it? Strutters?
Yeah, something
Carruthers?
like that. Anyway, so the doctor starts talking to the tube, and tells it we come in peace.
Yeah, as far as I understand, by the way, he's not talking, he is thinking into the tube. It's like a mind-reading thing, because Ian
his lips
and...
are moving.
Yeah, to us, yeah, but Ivy... Ivy cannot hear him talk. They're like, oh, I wonder what he's saying. You know? Okay. So I reckon him speaking is just for our benefit. And, how grateful we are.
Quite possibly.
Alright, so... Okay.
But at that point, a gun goes off. Well,
yeah, what is that? It's some sort of Zarbi laser arm.
Yeah, that comes out of the wall, which at this point shoots explosives, but later on
is going to splooge all over them.
Splooge web all over.
Yeah, we're going to be treated to a fun. Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
So it's a multi-purpose.
Spoiler alert: there's going to be a bukkake. All right.
It's a multi-purpose gun. And at this point,
multi-purpose gun, which is clearly just an arm in like a stocking.
But it shoots various things. So it goes off, and
it tries to kill them. But
we think it tries to kill.
Yeah, but somehow they are rescued because when Vicky was in the TARDIS before and she pressed all the buttons, out of sheer coincidence, she repaired the fluid link or whatever it is, realigned the fluid link. I've written. And that has now saved them and somehow, like, disabled the laser arm thing.
Yeah, and the Tube wants to know from the Doctor why the TARDIS survived the attack and how they survived the attack.
Yeah, and he, like, negotiates a deal.
Yeah, so the Tube's really interested in the TARDIS. Like, how the fuck does that work? I'll offer you freedom in exchange for the secrets of the TARDIS, because they could help me with this invasion thing that's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, so then ID, they enter the TARDIS.
And also, he also lets the Doctor know, the Tube also lets the Doctor know that Barb has been taken to be enslaved.
Oh, yeah.
And the Doc tells the Tube that, okay, I can help you, I've got a bargaining chip here, I've got an astral mapper inside my ship,
Yeah.
Which can work out where anything is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
can intercept radio frequencies
Yeah,
for some
exactly.
reason. Yeah.
Alright, so check this out. This is further ammunition for the whole Vicky is just a child arguments. So when they are entering the TARDIS, Ian goes to the Doctor, you think that kid will be alright out there? And the Doctor goes, yes, I think so.
So, like, young people are often referred to as that kid. You know, like...
What is wrong with your hair, by the way? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, all of a sudden, Flappy turned into Tintin.
Uh-huh.
Great.
So, like, you know in Indiana Jones 4, where Shia LaBeouf is called, like, the kid?
Yeah.
But he's clearly, like, well, the actor is, like, 30, but, like, he's meant to be, like, 18, 19.
I think he was in his, like, mid-20s at the time.
Right, okay. But you know
And he's also the kid because he's his kid.
Yeah. Well, he didn't know that at that point.
No,
as he was
but
calling him
clearly,
the kid. But you know what I mean. You
Yeah,
could be
yeah,
called the kid back in the 60s.
Yeah.
And not
Indiana Jones
actually-
4 never happened. by
And
the
not
way.
actually be a child.
Okay, that is true. Fine. Alright. So, okay. They bring out this enormous microfiche reader, and Ian wants to, like, unplug it. This is the map thingy. The map scanner. What's it called again?
The astral map. Astral mapper.
The astral mapper.
Yeah.
That's great. So Ian wants to unplug the astral mapper, which is a ridiculous concept within itself, by the way, because it is an electrical contraption that is plugged into the wall, and he literally just wants to unplug it and use it outside, where there is no electricity.
Wireless.
Yeah. But the Doctor then goes, you must never sever the time and relative dimension link. So these are time and relative dimension. These are the two bits of the TARDIS, right? And
So it has to stay attached to the TARDIS.
the astral mapper is the relative dimension.
Yeah.
Later on, spoiler alert, they're going to short-circuit it.
Yeah.
They short-circuit the relative dimension aspect of the TARDIS. Literally, the TARDIS turns into just a T. That's what happens.
It's just time.
It's a time box.
It's not particularly useful.
Yeah. Alright, so... and there are, by the way, no consequences to that.
No.
No.
But there's nothing to say that necessarily that the astral mapper is, like, important to the functioning of the TARDIS. It's like an add-on for the TARDIS.
An add-on?
Yeah.
An add-on. It's a thing that travels through space and time.
Yeah, the TARDIS is the thing that travels through space and time. The astral mapper is
Tells
like...
them where they're going.
But it's something that works with the TARDIS, but is not necessarily... not necessarily
by the way,
the functioning of the TARDIS.
By the way, this astral mapper, which is... The way I understood it at the time, anyway, is essentially just an atlas, right? Like, some sort of GPS system.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we have never used so far, because he never knows where he is. It can also be used as a radio.
Intercept radio transmission.
That's what it is. It's so stupid. Well, okay.
That is about its only function in this episode, actually, is to intercept radio transmissions.
By the way, 53 minutes into this recording, and we're still on episode, what is this, 2? 3? 3, thank God. Alright. Oh, God.
Anyway, the Doctor then gives Ian some tablets, which he says will help with his breathing.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, because why did you even put on the windbreakers in the first place if you had freaking pills that could help you breathe?
Leaving aside the idea that a tablet would help you with your breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, why did they not do that in the first place? If that actually works, like, why were they wearing, like, fucking Kevlar vests stuffed with stuff? Like, doesn't make any sense.
Alright, okay, dude, we need to press on. So, they take the mapper back outside, Doc tricks the Queen, essentially, this... whatever, the voice in the plastic thingy, into withholding certain forces, he says.
Yeah.
And
so that he can start his tracking of the...
and when she does, all of a sudden, the ants cannot see them. Like, they become invisible to the ants.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are clearly under the control of these other plastic boys.
The ants, as far as we know, without the control of the dark force, are actually pretty docile. So if she did relieve her dark forces from them, then they wouldn't attack.
I guess so,
I guess that is what it is.
Actually, that is
they
what it
just
is.
become docile.
Yeah, probably.
As they are in real life.
Okay, so anyway, Ian is to go and save Bob.
Yeah, so the Doctor's going to stay and investigate, and Ian is going to save
Yeah, cue the let's split up and meet back here in 10 minutes trope.
Yeah.
And while Ian heads off, the Doctor picks up some sort of transmission from the Menoptera about the Crater of Needles.
Meanwhile, Ian immediately runs into an ant and starts fist fighting with it.
Yeah, he wrestles it to the ground.
He kicks its ass.
Yeah, he just picks it up, throws it down. It is like temporarily, completely just
Paralysed. Yeah.
It's like it can't even stand back up again.
But unfortunately, this sends all the alarms in the whole place going off. The ants all panic.
Yeah, lots of zombie ants and a dustbuster scramble to intercept him.
And Ian gets trapped inside of the organic cell.
Yeah. Which the dustbuster then proceeds to fire upon.
Yeah.
It shoots a laser at it. They've captured him.
Allowing Ian to... Yeah, he's completely just in a box.
Yeah.
and then shoots him an escape route.
Yeah. It's so dumb. So then he gets away somehow, and one Liberace, the Shibarachi in fact, lands and joins him.
Very nicely. Okay, let's give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, that's the first of two or three very nice landing scenes.
The only things that are good about this episode are those bee landings.
Yeah, and one of them is in fact so good that it's recycled within the episode.
Yeah.
Like they show the same clip twice.
Yeah, within 10 seconds they show the same clip.
Yeah, it is great. Anyway, so...
The Doc talks to the Tube, basically uses delaying tactics, says, I'm still collating my data.
Yeah,
the Tube's like, bullshit. Like,
the note,
get on with it.
Dude, the note I've made here is that every plot point is instantly reversed and entirely without consequence. Because the Doc chats with Queenie, she is to kill them, then she's to spare them. Then they place gold on Vapor Rub, and then the ant removes the gold from Vapor Rub. Like, immediately. Oh, God. All right.
Very, very confusing.
Yeah. And then the Doctor...
And then something else happens,
yeah,
which it didn't come up again. I thought it was going to be like a big plot point. So Doc sends Vicky back inside of the TARDIS to pick up some samples.
Yeah.
She goes and picks up the wrong ones.
She's to pick up the recorder.
That's right.
Yeah,
sorry.
from a red box.
Yeah.
She picks up the red box, comes back out, and he goes, "Oh, you idiot, I told you to pick up the white box."
Right.
Yeah, so he made a mistake.
Or did he make a mistake, or did he do it on purpose?
No, I think he totally made a mistake there.
Okay, so what she actually picked up was like ant parts?
No, it was a spider. It was a dead spider. It was like a sample of a dead spider.
Right, okay. And the ants are absolutely terrified of it.
Yeah, the zombie just freaks out.
I guess that does kind of make sense. Well, it would have made sense if the spider at the end had been a spider.
Yeah, which it's not.
Which it fucking isn't.
No, it looks like a giant wig. Oh, God. Alright. Seriously, I hate the serial.
I hate it.
I feel like I was just chain raped by the entire cast of Ice Road Truckers. Okay. So
Ian and the bee go...
Shibarachi, please.
Sorry, she's not a bee, she's a butterfly.
Yeah.
Shibarachi's better. Ian and Shibarachi are talking, and Shibarachi says Vortis is their planet, and that her friends have all been enslaved with their wings torn off.
Yeah, and she also says, this is where we find out, the Zarbi, the ants, they were part of the ecosystem.
Yeah,
and
they're not intelligent.
No, they're drones, essentially. And they were made evil when this strong force from the darkness, or dark force, that they call the Animus, arrived and enslaved them. And it resides in something called the Casinome.
No, I didn't go that far. I didn't go that far in my recording. But at the same time, all of these strange moons appeared when the Animus appeared as well.
Yeah.
Which are like weird half-worlds where the bees have gone.
Butterflies.
Sorry, the butterflies.
The Liberaces.
The Liberaces have gone.
The Liberaces are now there to liberate their planets.
Nice.
Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, so...
why these moons appeared?
We find out later on.
Do we? Okay, alright. I'll wait for the explanation then.
Alright, yeah. Don't want to spoil anything important here. Alright, so then anyway, Jan and Shibarachi, they decide to enter the Crater of Needles.
Well, yeah, they strike an accord.
Oh, I was just waiting for those two to get busy.
They look like I just couldn't work out who was going to stick what where. that was the only question.
Correct me if I'm wrong, bees... Okay, wait, I don't know what butterflies do, but bees, they basically just lay their eggs in these cells, and then spew this glucose goop onto them, right? So basically, literally just waiting for Shibarachi to plant an egg somewhere, and then Ian to just jerk off all over it.
Her real name, by the way, is Brislin?
Is it Brislin?
Brislin.
I deliberately made a point of never noting anyone's name. And I don't want to sound racist, but I cannot tell them apart. No. Except for the fact that some of them are women and some of them are not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ants, at the point they decide they're going to go to the Crater of Needles, ants start attacking them.
Yeah. The shittest fellowship of childish, ass-tod, dweeboid, insect splooge crap characters ever is what I've written down in my notes. FYI.
So she and Ian run away and hide. Boom.
Yeah.
Episode 4.
Wait, dude. It's not a cliffhanger, it's a cliffbanger. Because they go into, like, this...
into this, like, dark room.
Yeah, like a crevasse. And all of a sudden there's, like, a cave-in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, end of episode 3. Thank goodness.
Episode 4.
The Crater of Needles.
The Crater of Needles.
Actually, sorry, Crater of Needles. I actually pulled the doctor there and inserted a definite article where there was none.
In this cave, where they've gone, they are immediately surrounded.
Yeah. But it's so stupid how they're surrounded. Jan and Shibarachi come to in, like, a tunnel, and he goes, "Where are we?" And then, kablamatron! Immediately, these new aliens jump into frame, toting laser blasters or whatever. No, not laser blasters, they're glass shards.
Yeah.
Yeah. From nowhere. Out of nowhere. Oh.
But the next scene, okay, I actually quite liked.
Oh, in the mines?
So, yeah, we see the Crater of Needles. I didn't know what the Crater of Needles was going to look like. I was quite happy with their portrayal of the slave colony.
Yeah,
it was
me
quite
too.
sad at the clipped wings.
That was actually quite sad.
When you saw all the enslaved Liberace's, that was like a moment.
Actually, you know what? There's even another like butterfly reference here, completely, I'm sure, completely
so that bit alone is going to give me a 0.1 when I'm doing my review.
Yeah, that definitely earns 1 decimal point. But that whole sequence reminded me a lot of, no pun intended, Papillon.
Oh.
Totally, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So,
see that.
Yeah, alright, anyway. Whatever.
Cool. I can see that.
I can see that. Alright, so...
so Barb wakes up.
Yeah.
Because she's...
Sorry, do you mean Abara?
Abara.
Abara?
Yeah, did I mention? Yes, I did mention that. They sound like retarded robot French people.
Yeah, I think you did mention that.
Abara.
Abara? Yeah.
Abara wakes up, and she's speaking to a Liberace, and the Liberace's really sad because he will never fly again.
Yeah. And she asks, like, why are we throwing all this biomatter into acid pools? Which is essentially what they're there to do. Like, they're slaves just taking biomatter, throwing it into acid.
Yeah, which, again, as in the Daleks, seemed really inefficient use of labour.
Yeah, very much so.
So in the Daleks,
you have ants. You have an army of ants. Yeah. Just get them to do the work for you.
Yeah, they're going to be more effective than clipped butterflies. So in the Daleks, we had old women lugging wicker baskets of single rocks.
Of earth core.
Of single rocks, trying to remove all the magma from the earth. And here we have clipped butterflies. Hand by hand, pouring dirt into acid.
It's like dirt. They're basically just weeding the place.
Like these people, they need like a time and motion man to come in and like analyse their company.
Yeah, exactly. They are really KPMG because they can sort their shit out.
They really are not getting the most out of the resources.
All right, dude. Seriously, 10 to 1. I've got a job interview in the morning. All right.
So the Doctor and Vicky, who we come back to, are being attacked by an ant.
Wait, no. We find out why they're doing the whole biomatter thing.
Oh, sorry.
So the biomatter is kind of funneled by the acid into the casonome, allowing it to grow. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's the building material for the animus.
Yeah, for the home of the animus, which is the casonome.
Yeah.
So, okay, animus, soul or spirit. Casonome? I don't know. I'm not sure. I wonder if that's...
Is that also in the Omen song?
Casinom, animus casinom. No, okay, I don't know, but what I'm wondering is really if that's some sort of, I guess, biology term for a spider something.
Possibly.
Maybe. Who knows? Someone please wiki that. Actually, someone please don't. Alright, so they came to liberate Zarbi. The dude tells her. Mm-hmm. Sorry, my notes still cover the Papillon place. So he explains they came to actually liberate the Zarbi, but the latter being controlled by, like, they're essentially just sentries, right? So being controlled by the Animus, slaughtered them, captured them, and however, they have a new device against the Animus, which they intend to use at the heart of the Casanome, and this new device has never been tested. They have, this dude, this Liberace, has no idea how it works, but he puts all his faith in, like, the Liberace scientists who have spent years and years developing it.
Yeah.
Right. We find out later on what it is, but no one gives a damn right now.
So,
or ever will.
No one.
Alright, cut to Doc and Vic.
Yeah, so Doctor and Vicky, so they've been captured by the ants. And one of the ants puts a metal thingy on Vicky, round her neck. Is that not right?
Yeah, okay. Well, we've already seen the metal things before, dude. This is the gold thing. This is, yeah. This is when every plot point is instantly reversed. And we've seen the gold thing on Barb and everyone. So, anyway, you are right, though. Like, they're talking about escape, and she really wants to use the spider to escape. He goes, I do not want to use that yet at all. Then an ant turns up with, and a DustBuster, I almost said Ghostbuster, with one of those gold things, and the dog, literally 10 seconds later, says, use the spider, Vicky! Yeah. You freaking turncoat.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so then he has a chat with Queenie Animus Lady Voice.
Mm-hmm. And he gives away a little bit of information to say that he's on the right track, essentially. That he's located where the message is coming from, and it's from the planet Pictos.
The planet Pictos?
Yeah, so he's giving away a little bit of information, because the tube's basically going, like, why aren't you working faster?
Yeah,
like,
if you don't give me something, I will kill you.
You clearly can do better than this.
So
he says the signal, or the message, is coming from the planet Pictos, and that must be where the invasionary force is grouping.
Okay.
Which is one of the moons that we see in the sky.
Literally did not make a note of this at all.
Right. But he says he'll only continue his investigations if Vicky is released.
Yeah.
And they release her.
Yeah.
And the Doctor just explains that if their usefulness ends, they will die.
Yeah.
They'll be killed.
All
so we then see Ian
in the tunnels.
And Liberace go.
Shibarachi. Please. Don't be a sexist.
And they are captured by yet another species.
Yeesh.
These are the worst one. Okay. So, taking back everything I said before, these are the worst aliens that I've come across.
Yeah. Like, it's either these or... Yeah.
They're like cavemen, barbarian variations of the butterfly people.
Yeah, exactly. They're like a centipede...
Which are called primates in this episode.
Are they called primates? No, they're not. They're Optera. So they are
Sorry, yeah, you're right.
They're the primitive Menoptera.
Yeah.
Who are basically still at the larvae stage, right? So they're like centipedes.
But what they actually are is people walking around
with like snot raster.
What?
They're snot rasters.
There's like strings of foam coming off their heads. Like,
the most
half-assed costumes.
And they sound like the Cookie Monster.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. Alright, so...
And again, they want to kill Ian and Liberace Girl.
Yeah, Shibarachi, please.
Shibarachi.
Yeah. But before they do that, they restrain them by dipping their hands in some sort of sticky toffee. Yikes.
Yeah. So we cut back to the bees, which is really boring because we don't have like a human character to interact with. But the bees discuss their invasion in their really annoying voices and say they're worried that their attack has been discovered.
Yeah, and Bob basically
will all be killed.
Yeah, and Bob here is trying to convince the Liberace that the Doc couldn't possibly be the reason for the entire Liberace invasion force being about to get massacred. Like that would never occur to him. Like he would never hurt a fly or a butterfly. Cut back to Doc and Vic.
Yeah, and they're examining the metal brain controller thing and discover that it's made of gold. So they start to work out what's actually going on here in terms of mind control.
Yeah, the doc recalls the incident with Ian's gold pen.
Yeah, and the penny drops also about the bracelet Barb was wearing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anything gold on you, and they can somehow control your body.
Yeah, and this bit makes no sense to me at all. So they spider one of the zombies, and then he says that they need to realign the power of gold.
Yeah.
So they use
alchemy, basically.
Yeah, they use the
They want to harness the power to use it against the zombie.
At which point, drink people, they short-circuit the relative dimension. So they somehow use the power of the relative dimension aspect of the TARDIS, the ERD, to short-circuit it and transfer whatever power reverse the power of this gold thing.
It doesn't have to make total sense.
It makes no sense! It has to make some sense. Alright, cut back to Bob and the Liberace squad.
Does something clever. Basically, is all that is.
Sure.
Yeah, so we cut back to Barb.
And the Liberace squad.
And their plan is to attack an ant and the Dustbuster.
Yeah.
And it's pretty gruesome, actually, the way they kill the Dustbuster. They crush it against the wall.
Yeah.
One of them picks it up and just crushes it against the wall.
Does one of the Liberaces die at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the Liberaces dies, which they're all really sad about, but has no relevance.
Yeah. It wasn't a Liberace we got attached to.
So, as you said, the Doctor, at this point, puts his plan into action, and short-circuits the Mapinator.
Yeah.
And it blows up.
Yeah. This is what we got before, but then...
And immediately, it's not as if they didn't notice, a tube comes up above the Doctor's head.
Yeah, starts talking to him, and he accidentally... he recorded the whole conversation... He recorded the transmission from the Menoptera invasion force, and tells the Queenie Animus voice thingy, I have no idea what's going on, I'm still working on it. Oh, what's this thing? Oh, it's just a rusty thing, it's not at all a recorder. Bless you. At which point, accidentally, he triggers the recorder and plays the recording of the invasion force message.
And the tube is clearly you've had this all along.
Yeah.
Absolute twat. This tells us absolutely everything we need to know.
Yeah, and it says, well, as soon as the invasion has been deterred, we will...
dealt with.
You are gonna get so murder, death, killed.
Yeah.
By the way, why after? Why not right away? Your Majesty, please.
That will become apparent.
Why?
They want to use them for his intelligence
you're right.
and suck him dry, which makes no fucking sense. We'll get to that.
Yeah. All right. So then, both he and Not Short for Victoria are supposedly zombified, but Vic, in fact, has played a trick on them. She's put on the neutralized or reverse polarized golden necklace thingy.
Yeah.
So
and
she's just
really
pretending
obviously
to be...
blinking without trying to be seen being blinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doc is totally zombified, though.
Yeah, but because she's free, she's able to free the Doc as well.
So then we get the fight, basically.
Well, first we quickly see the bees. They've worked out the Doctor must have betrayed them. That's the only way their position could have been given away.
Yeah. And Bob and her, Liberace party, they go to meet up with the so-called Spearhead, which is, the head of... the precipice of the invasion force, essentially.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Oh, and
the Spearhead, by the way,
forget,
total dick.
I know we haven't taken much care with Ian, but Ian has been interspliced in here. We just haven't been mentioned.
Yeah, that's true.
But we do get a scene here with Ian with the primitives, and it doesn't matter. But the Liberace girl is explaining to the primitives that all they want to do is destroy the dark power and the animus, and basically trying to get them on their side.
Is it at this point?
Which works.
Is it at this point that the primitives, the Optera, that they suddenly decide to believe them? Is it now that it happens? Alright, okay, cool. So Ian and Shibarachi, before they inevitably are about to bang, are now leading a primitive centipede force from below, digging their way up to the Animus. It is exactly as ridiculous as it sounds. Yeah. But let's get to the fight, because so they talk to the Spearhead. Take it away.
The best moment, really, of everything is the bee landing scene, which occurs when we cut back to Bob. it's great. It's actually, I think, so do you know...
It's a nice landing, by the way. It looks good.
When we see stuff going on outside, right?
Yeah.
There's this blurry, smudgy thing going on at all times.
Yeah, blurry and also lens flares.
Yes.
It's super distracting.
I think they did that because it works so well for this one scene with the bees landing.
With the shitty effects?
Yeah, it looks... I actually think it looks really good.
It looks great. That one landing looks fantastic.
Yeah, and I think they've optimised the outside camera lens just for that scene.
So, do you reckon they Vaselined the lens in order to blur out the wires from which the
Vaseline's really hard to get off glass, right? So,
you know.
Oh,
all right. So, wait, they fight. We have this massive fight.
Massive, again, chaotic.
Which is really dumb. Let's take a moment to talk about the spearhead, because Bob and Liberace talk to the spearhead Liberace dude. Mm-hmm. This one Liberace, I don't remember. This one Liberace who's just flapping his wings and is the leader of the force.
Yeah.
And
the only one who arrives.
Yeah. Wingclip Liberace tells spearhead Liberace, dude, check it out. The Zarbi know exactly what's going down. Someone squealed. Everyone's going to get totally murder, death killed. You need to call off the invasion force. He just looks around super slowly. We get a cutscene of two Zarbi flapping their wings.
Everything is super slow.
And he goes, you know what? It's too late. We've already started. I'm just good. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Dun, dun, dun. End of episode.
End of episode. No, wait, actually, hang on, wait. First we have the fight, and then we end the episode. So we have this fight, we see this beautiful landing twice. Instead of fighting the ants from above, they land to then have some fisticuffs with these ants that just immediately dismember them.
They could have hovered 20 feet above and just
and fired. Rain
down fire upon them.
Exactly, because they have guns. They don't use the guns, but they have guns. And by the way, this device that they're going to use on the Animus later on, spoiler alert, obviously the good guys win, they could totally have used it against the Zarbi as well. They didn't. They could have.
Would it have worked?
Dude, if it can kill the Animus, why not? It was a cell destructor.
I guess a cell destructor is pretty damaging.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. But yeah, so then we end the episode on Barbara and Liberace being cornered by a whole bunch of zombies.
They're in real trouble.
And at least one Dustbuster.
And at the start of episode 5, Invasion. Obviously, we go back to that scene, as we always do, and Barb falls against a wall, and it opens. It's like a trapdoor.
Yeah.
So she and the other Liberaces escape through there. Why is there a trapdoor there?
It was the entrance to the Temple of Light.
Okay.
That's the only thing I picked up from that.
Cool.
At this point, we still have 2 episodes to go. This is how little I wrote down about these 2 episodes. So, apologies in advance if, I don't really know what's going on. Anyway, cut to Vic Vaporub.
Yeah, so as we know, her gold thingy around her neck has been neutralised. Yeah. She's obviously awake, and she removes the doctor's gold thingy, which is keeping him asleep.
Yeah.
So the doc then postulates that the force field has now been completely reversed. I don't
even know what that means.
Everything has... Yeah, I don't know what that fucking means. But, he just says the force field has been reversed. Let me just try something.
Yeah, he reckons he can control it, with his ring.
Yeah, I reckon I can use the power of my ring against these ants.
Oh, God.
So they come up with an ingenious scheme whereby Vicky falls over, pretending her necklace has come off, and she's going, "Oh, where am I? What's happened? I don't know anything about what's happened in the last 2 hours."
Yeah, exactly.
The ant comes over, and when it bends down, the doctor
puts the zombie bling on
the gold thing over it.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, as I said to you at the time, it reminded me of The Walking Dead, where militant, black girl...
Yeah, what's her face?
What's her name?
I
forget her name. But anyway, she's...
Samurai lady.
Yeah, exactly.
She's awesome, by the way.
She's amazing.
I love her.
But she's walking around with...
pretty hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty hot.
But she's walking around with 2 zombies in front of her to ward off other zombies.
Yeah, cutting off their arms and stuff, and their jaw. Such a cool show, people.
Oh, amazing. But this is essentially what the Doctor does with the ant.
Yeah. So he now controls it totally.
So the ant is going to lead them places so that, it looks as though there's just an ant with prisoners, maybe.
Yeah, 1 ring to rule them all, by the way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, cut back to Bob and 2 Liberaces entering the Temple of Light, or whatever.
Yeah, and we're told it's beautiful. She's going, it's beautiful. You look up and it
looks pretty naff. I'm not entirely sure what this place is. Pretty sure that's just... well, okay, whatever. Watercolors. All right. They meet a few more Liberaces.
Yeah.
Who are part of the Spearhead.
Spearhead's there. Everyone's really depressed. The first wave was a complete failure, and the second wave looks like it's going to be a complete massacre as well.
Yeah.
The second wave never happened.
Yeah, and then they reveal the weapon. The, quote, living cell destructor.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Heavy duty.
This thing, by the way, is referred to in at least 3 different ways. It is the living cell destructor, it is the web destructor, and it is also the, what was it? Isotope.
Oh yeah, the isotope, of course.
So
Which is what I actually know it as. I should have jumped in.
And I think at some point it's referred to as an isotope.
Isotope, yeah. Isotope.
An isotope, an isotope, a web destructor, and a living cell destructor.
Yeah.
Make up your minds, people.
It does stuff.
Yeah.
But the Doctor and Vicky, now that they've escaped, they're desperate to find the Spearhead.
Yeah.
They want to get this whole thing together.
Yeah, but they're not in so much of a rush that Vicky doesn't have time.
Vicky doesn't have time to name the ant Zombo.
Zombo, the zombie ant.
Like, this is a really bad idea. Like, hasn't she been down this road before? If you name your animal, so like she named Sandy.
Literally just waiting for Bob to shoot Zombo in the face with a flare gun.
When it dies, it's gonna crush you. Don't name it. Don't form that.
Don't get attached to it.
Yeah, don't form that personal attachment, man. Like, how are you gonna leave Zombo behind?
Anyway, cut back to Jan, Shibarachi, and the Snot Rastas.
Yeah.
They are to... the Snot Rastas are to take Jan and Shibarachi to the Animus now.
It's just nothing. They're like going down some tunnels, some vapours coming out, and like there's an avalanche, and they're digging, and
one of the Snot Rastas dies. I think that happens later on. I honestly don't know.
I honestly don't
The
care.
whole thing, I've summarised it as tunnel through. That's it.
Yeah,
I didn't even care to enter in a subject.
Let's just move on to Barb.
Yeah, Barb.
This is fantastic. She's drawing on the floor like attack plans. Like she's taken over again. She's taken up the reins. It's the Aztecs all over again. She's drawing up attack plans.
Aztecs? I think it's more Dalek invasion of Earth.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a better example. But she does it in Aztecs as well.
Oh, she does, yeah.
Like, not to such a great extent.
Not in a militant way.
But like she has...
More in a I want to fuck with human history kind of way.
But she has more credo than Spearhead. Spearhead makes a suggestion, which is, I'm just going to fly in from above and cut my way through.
Yeah, at which point...
everyone's like...
Wingclip Liberace tells him, hey dude, Spearmint, come on, listen, this isn't going to happen, I'm going to do this. And then they have a butterfly off. They just go up to each other and just go...
That is a very accurate noise, unfortunately. Can we have a soundbite of that noise?
Yes, we can. Sound bites.
Fucking imagine that. Imagine that sound repeated over and over again in a fight scene.
At least we haven't heard the zombie for at least, 75 seconds.
Yeah. But everybody decides in the end that Barb's plan is the best. They're going to do a mock attack. So they're going to draw away the ants into one area while somebody infiltrates.
I cannot wait until we get to the point
Who's
where
going to infiltrate?
How are we going to describe this mock attack, Flappy?
I don't even want to.
I want to. Alright.
So, at this point, who's going to infiltrate? The Doc turns up with Vicky.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they've got Zombo with them.
Yep. So they discuss how the web works. The Doctor's kind of worked it out. Apparently it uses the magnetic poles of the planet for power.
Yeah.
So it's like sapping the energy in that way. And then realises, actually, that's how the TARDIS got pulled down.
And the moons.
Yeah.
That's what pulled the moons in.
Right, of course.
QED, we solved it.
We solved all 3 things.
We Sherlocked this whole thing.
And
they decide...
The Doctor agrees that the mock attack is the best way to go.
Exactly.
And that he's going to go in with the isotope, whatever.
Yeah. With Vicky.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this stupid child with me to take the one single item that your scientists built over decades or whatever, and of which you brought only one. Why isn't
I'm gonna give it to the retard.
Yeah. And in fact, that's what he does. He goes. Yeah? He basically says, "Hey, you child,
hold this."
But then...
so the doc's going to make for the centre.
and Spearmint Liberace, he goes, hey, Doctor Dude, you've got an ant, can we have him? Because he'd be like awesome, and I really know how to use him.
And the doc's like, yeah, that's great, but you're not going to be able to control him without my ring.
Yeah.
And he actually lends the ring again.
Yeah, he does, but he does it very reluctantly. He does it basically only because Bob says that's a very good idea.
It is a very good idea.
But he also says, like, hey, swear on your life that you will return it.
Guy I just met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's so good. Did you also think for a moment, because I totally thought that guy was kind of sinister.
Yeah, he seemed kind of shady.
Yeah.
I think he's like just a bit of a megalomaniac. Like, he wants to be the leader. He is the leader. Fair play to him. So the Doctor goes in to infiltrate into the centre, is immediately captured, and then we get the Bukkake moment.
The Bukkake is so good. I know the last time, and probably the episode before, I said, seriously, screenshot on the website, and I didn't do it because there are only so many screenshots that you can fit onto a page before it just becomes apparent that there's little copy. But oh my god, this splooge scene needs to be immortalised on whobackwhen.com. It is fantastic. Go there right now and look at that.
So they're encased in spider splooge.
Yes, they are.
Dun dun dun. Episode 6. The Centre.
Oh, God.
So the tube arrives over the Doctor's head again. And it says the Doctor is of no further use. And we're like, shit, what's going to happen? Except that he is needed fully in the centre forever for his intelligence.
Yeah, which is, coincidentally, precisely what he planned to do.
Well, and precisely the opposite of him being of no further use.
Yeah, exactly.
He is of total use always. So it's the most paradoxical sentence.
But also, we want your intelligence, so we're going to bring you and the girl. Let's bring the girl along as well.
Let's add perhaps 5 IQ points.
I felt like maybe there was a sexual element to this.
Oh my God.
Later on, she's like sprawled out in the Japanese tentacle porn, and she's just like, ooh. There's totally.
So they're being taken off to the centre, and the Doctor's like, oh no, it's okay, like, we're going to be alright, like, we'll just isotope it, it's fine. Like, we want to be in the centre.
This is where he goes...
And Vicky's like, I've got something to tell you.
This is where he says, give me the web destructor. We've never heard this before. And I don't think the Doctor's even heard the word web being used by anyone. But it's like, hand me the web destructor. And she explains
that she has lost the isotope.
No, she hid it. She hid the isotope.
No,
she had it inside the
lost is wrong. She hasn't got the isotope.
Yeah. But, I'm really sorry. The one thing that we need, I hid it inside the astral map.
The one thing that we need, and we knew we were going to go exactly where we wanted to be going.
Yeah.
I decided at that point that I would get rid of it.
Hiding it in the astral map, which, by the way, we short-circuited, and we've been told we will never be near again.
Doc's distraught, obviously. Outside, Barb and the rest of the Liberace crew are sending in the zombie. And
but they also perform the worst dance and song routine ever to come out of a kindergarten mental asylum. It is ridiculous.
I have never seen anything this embarrassing for these actors.
I'm sure that at least 70% of these actors committed suicide immediately upon airing.
It's just awful. I
think we need a soundbite of their song, by the way.
Go for it.
Okay, if you value your life, fast forward through the next 5 to 10 seconds. Here we go. Soundbite. You're welcome.
It's not even funny. It's just like scary.
It's
that this got put into production,
it's like when you watch someone piss their pants and you go, "Oh, I feel so bad now."
Yeah,
I am embarrassed on your behalf.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, but it's like the Knights Who Say Knee. That might
you
even
are so right about that.
That might even be the inspiration for the Knights Who Say Knee. They watched that, they were like, that is so ridiculous, that's hilarious. We're putting that in a sketch.
Yeah.
They just squeal and
flap their wings and jump around.
Well, and just make non-threatening hand gestures.
Yeah, and for no reason whatsoever. The zombie is just frightened by this and runs away.
Beeps.
As in the evil, yeah. beeps and bleeps and runs
So
away.
we get beeps and it's dull and embarrassing.
Stop it! I'm getting a negative boner right now.
Move on.
Cut
quickly.
to Ian Shibarachi and the Snot Rasta.
Yeah.
They are ascending into the lights. Who cares?
For
Cut
no
back
reason.
to
Who cares about them?
cut back to Liberace trying to put a gold thing on a dustbuster.
Yeah, so they capture the mop.
Yeah, by the way, wait. Before they capture the mob, they take the zombie bling off Zombo.
Yeah, and put it on to the mop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Liberace, this is Spearmint Liberace, he is shot by the dustbuster, even though it's been zombified, dies, falls onto said dustbuster, and kills it with his enormous girth. It was ridiculous. But Zombo, meanwhile, who is no longer zombified, why doesn't he just attack everyone? Why doesn't he protect the dustbuster?
Well, maybe he's not under the control of the web anymore for some reason.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I can't see why, but maybe not. But, like, the whole point of his death is, we must go on in his honour.
Yeah, exactly. He will be immortalized in the Temple of Light. Whatever. Cut to Doc and Vic meeting the Animus.
Yeah.
We're speeding through this now. Jesus Christ, we've done an hour and a half.
It turns out, we see this thing.
Yeah.
Vicky refers to it as a spider.
Yeah.
We look at it. It is not a spider.
Yeah. What did I tell you maybe 5 minutes before that? I said, wouldn't it be fantastic if there is no spider in this episode?
Yeah, because everything has just been like a spider pun all the way
everything.
through. So I looked at it and it was like, what is that? Is that like a cheese string wedding cake? Or
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And then Vicky's like, "Oh, you spider," and it's like, no.
And it's not even like she refers to its species. It's like a derogatory term.
Yeah.
It's like, you spider, you snake.
And not only that,
Sort of.
it doesn't really act like a spider either.
No, it's like a super sophisticated wig.
Yeah. It's like, what's Richard E. Grant's character in, like, Matt Smith era? Like,
I was thinking that as well.
he's like that. Like, an energy sapper. Or, even better, that one in...
What's it called? The Ultimate Power? The Absolute Power? Or
Yeah,
something?
something like that.
Yeah.
But a better one is David Tennant, the one with the TVs at the Queen's coronation.
Yeah, yeah.
Where she's
How to climb up on the...
onto Ali Pali's mast and, like, suck everyone's power in. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this
it's
thing
actually
is
a really
like...
cool character.
Yeah.
In that way.
I'm not entirely
Terribly
sure
constructed.
what it's... Like, what is the Animus? So the Animus is... It's this wig, but it's floating atop this glowing orb.
Yeah. And it sucks energy and culture.
And culture, and knowledge.
Yeah. Which is why it really wants the Doctor.
Exactly.
Because the Doctor has a shitload, an abundance of everything.
Yeah, so now it's put the Doc and Vicky in its creepy, crawly tentacle whatever, like a ball pen.
Yeah.
Its tentacle pen. It looks exactly...
Your Japanese manga...
Tentacle porn thing. It actually reminded me a lot of Alien 4. What is it called? Alien Resurrection? Yeah, Alien 4. The Jean-Pierre Jeunet one. The one with Ron Perlman. Whatever. Where Sigourney Weaver falls down onto, like, the alien pit.
Right.
And she's just wriggling around, and it's actually kind of sexy.
Anyway. Barb turns up, gets to the room where the Astro Mapper thing is.
Yeah.
Tries to send a message to the other bees.
Yeah, because for some reason she now thinks that she knows how to operate and contact the invasion force using a device from the TARDIS.
It doesn't work, obviously, but they do find the isotope when they're trying to repair it.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, what are we going to do? Better run in there.
Yeah, they must have been captured. Let's save the day.
Yeah. Then we see Ian.
No, wait. First they rush the Zarbi. They rush the Zarbi playing, like, tag.
Yeah.
Throwing the isotope back and forth.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous.
And they just run straight through them.
Yeah.
Then we get a tiny cutscene of Ian, like, trying to cut his way to the surface.
Yeah. At some point along the way, one of the Optera has died, by the way.
Yeah.
I have no idea how she died. It was a she-Optera. Alright.
So, Barb has the isotope. She's running. They're blinded by the light of the
We get the whole
spider.
thing of, like, butterflies and insects and whatever.
Yeah,
they love light. One of the
the bees
Menoptera.
tries to walk to. It's not a bee; it's a butterfly.
It's a Shibarachi.
Tries to walk towards it.
Yeah.
And the other one goes, no, it's the wrong kind of light.
Yeah, exactly. this is not a nice kind. And then Bob fails to use the weapon.
No, she tries.
She tries,
Doesn't
but she
work.
fails. Yeah.
It doesn't work for some reason.
Yeah. Then let's explain this exactly the way that it happens.
Okay.
Okay. She holds up the thing, screams, it doesn't work. Then Ian enters.
Yeah, and then you think, oh, Ian must save the day now. There's a point to Ian. That little subplot, he must be coming to do something.
Subplot.
But no, Ian just arrives, and suddenly, for some reason, the isotope just works.
Yeah. In fact, I don't even remember it working.
Does he distract the spider enough to, I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I don't even remember there being a spider. Also, I don't remember the isotope or web destructor or whatever working. I remember it having worked. Like, he arrives, she says it's not working, he arrives, and then all of a sudden the animus dies.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, so it did work? Like,
yeah. Whatever. So there was your explanation. Fulfilling, right?
Yeah.
So we go outside and everything's fine.
Everyone is happy and united.
Water's appearing everywhere.
The Zarbi, who are back to being like happy drones.
Yeah, and the primitives, they come to the surface, they're like, oh, there's light and stuff, and
are we going to get wings?
The butterflies are like, yeah, we'll help you adjust, like your children are going to have great wings, all going to be good. Spearhead gives the Doctor back his ring, there's a nice little wink and a nod, and
what utter garbage. Then Doc enters the TARDIS.
Doctor and Ian have a little joke, oh, everything went up
not my tie.
Not my tie.
I didn't get my tie. They have like an actual 1-minute dialogue about
the tie.
About the tie.
Yeah.
Doc enters the TARDIS. Ian goes, "Hey, Barbara Vicky, this dick isn't going to suck itself." They all enter the TARDIS. It dematerializes.
Episode over, right? Over.
Well, I would think so.
Yeah, you would think so, wouldn't you?
But this freaking shit serial refuses to end.
It won't die.
It will not die.
It just will not
No
go.
matter how much we hate it, no matter how much we kick it, it will not stop breathing and bleeping.
I can't even really remember what happened at the end there. It was just awful.
Oh my god.
Like, the butterflies are just there and they're just talking inanely.
They're talking to each other. Like, the Menoptera talking to the opera.
Yeah.
The Optera. One of the Liberace is like holding some sort of strange soliloquy to the heavens about how their planet is going to flourish
Forever
again.
Grateful to the true Doctor, so wonderful. Like, it's just they didn't need to span it, and the episode had already gone on long enough. Most Doctor Who episodes, 23 minutes, right?
Yeah.
That was the 23-minute mark. So they decided to expend it, specially for this.
Yeah.
To add this in.
Let's continue. Please continue. Oh my god, people are going to love these creatures.
So, but do you know what?
We've had such great viewer feedback for the past 5 weeks. People must be loving this stuff.
Do you know what? It's the perfect ending to the shittest serial ever. Reviews. Let's get into them.
Views. Oh,
okay.
God.
Can I lead? It'll be short.
I was going to say, that's what she said. I started the last time, so it is your turn.
I will go. I mean, okay, let me start my review with this. What the fuck, man? What the fuck? Like, I can barely remember being this bored in front of her. Like, what I love so much about these old Doctor Who's, some of them are just fantastic stories, fantastic, story arcs with excellent costumes, and they're great just on their own merits. Then if it's bad, it's kitsch and it's still fun and funny, whatever. This was neither of those things.
No,
it had none of that. No. Like, the bad scenes were just boring or embarrassing. So,
the dance scene.
The dance scene. Like, lots of things that are really important to the plot didn't quite make enough sense that you felt fulfilled. And the best example of that is the ending. I mean, what really happened there?
We were so frustrated, by the way.
What really happened with that ending? Well, because,
I don't know.
We're suffering through these...
surely this must be going somewhere, but...
Yeah.
Then it's just over.
Well, they just made it as unfulfilling as it could be. Why couldn't have Barb just come in and it works? That would have been good enough. At least it had tied it up.
Or she could have thrown it to Ian the second he arrives, and then he makes it work because he's, behind the spider or whatever.
Do you know what? As I was saying, the final kick in the nuts was that 5 minutes at the end where everything is over. I mean, it has finished. We've endured, you know? But no, they just won't let us end. You know, I'm feeling really harsh right now. It's 1:30 in the AM and I am angry. I am angry.
Yeah.
So, as I was saying, like, on the way through, there are a couple of little positives. Like, I liked the slave quarter scene, when we first get that. The bee landing scene is super good.
Twice.
Yeah. But otherwise, generally, the production's really, really letting the thing down, and there's not much to let down in the first place. So I'm sorry, this is low.
Dude, don't worry about it. You don't need to apologize. It's not like I'm going to give this a 5.0.
I am going to give this a 0.3, which, you may remember, I really thought The Edge of Destruction was bad, and I gave it 0.9.
Yeah, you did.
This, 0.3.
All right, then.
Suffering. On you go, pal.
Well, I'd like to start off by saying I have a newfound appreciation for The Edge of Discretion.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful episode.
It's such a beautiful
Do you know
story.
what? I'd like to give
it's
more
the perfect
marks.
length.
I'd like to give more marks to The Edge of Destruction just so I can separate it further from this.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that as well. I gave The Edge of Discretion 0.3, I think. And now looking... sorry?
Was it that low?
I think so.
I think you gave it 0.4.
Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, I'm giving this one 0.2. Spoiler alert. 0.2.
See, that doesn't feel like enough of a gap.
No, it doesn't at all. It really does not. But now we've seen more of this. Whatever. Okay. You said that the production itself wasn't that impressive.
I'm thinking of Vaseline here, right?
Yeah, well, okay. I found the blurry image super distracting. I found the constant lens flares super distracting. Like, just
beeping,
so annoying.
The beeping.
The bleeping. The beeping and bleeping that just would not relent.
Hissing.
It would not stop. I cannot believe that. And this went on. We watched this in one go. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But this went on for 6 weeks back in the day.
Yeah, I know, that's what we were saying.
Yeah.
There were 6 weeks where Doctor Who was just shit.
Just absolutely awful.
A month and a half where it was just awful.
And people must have been thinking, like, oh God, I hope this is just a 2-parter. Yeah. Oh God, I hope this is just a 3-parter. And so on and so forth, until after the 6th episode they just went, well,
Do you know what? I am going to slip my wrist right now.
I'm imagining whole families of English people just finally, after the 6th episode, just taking the rope away from around their necks, going, oh, it's finally over, we don't have to die now. But yeah, I don't get it. That being said, I think there was a lot of money pumped into the production. Like, some of the sets, even though you can, like, totally see the corners of the matte paintings and whatever, some of the sets are actually pretty cool. And the suits, while being super naff and absolute garbage, they look like they spent a lot of time on them. Like the ant things, they're like these huge, elaborate things.
There's no marks for effort here.
No. I'm just thinking they invested loads of time and effort in entirely the wrong way.
Yeah.
Which
makes it even worse.
Yeah, it's actually really sad. They must have thought that, oh, this is going to be awesome, guys. Like, dudes, seriously, sit down. I'm going to do a line of coke and I'm going to tell you all about the story. So, the story is stupid. It goes on for way too long. Aside from the fact that it's 6 episodes, every episode is longer than it has to be or ever has been. There are all these super long scenes that just appear like filler. Mm-hmm. It's all... Actually, maybe they go hand in hand. The episodes used to be 22 minutes long, and then all of a sudden, maybe the program that aired before or after Doctor Who, or maybe a commercial break or something, got cut out of it.
Yeah.
And they went, oh shit, now we need to fill this out. Like, I mean this seriously. Like, maybe they had to fill it out, which is why we get these
commercial breaks on BBC.
Oh yeah, sorry, but okay, maybe the program before or after got shifted or something, and they had to fill out an extra, let's say, 5 minutes per episode, and for that reason, we get these extended scenes that are just very poorly cut.
Yeah, could be the case. Maybe this was on like just before the snooker, and like,
or something,
and like I don't know, like, somebody walloped somebody really quickly. And like, shit. So maybe they took the version of these episodes that like was meant to be left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
and were like, "Now let's show the whole thing." You know, like that supposed cut of Django Unchained, which is 6.5 hours long.
Oh, really?
Like that one. They were just like, just shove it in. It'll fill the whole schedule.
Well, so for all these reasons,
by the way, I'd love to watch that Django.
I would watch it with you.
6.5 hours.
I would watch it with you.
I would love it.
I didn't get the Ian subplot at all. It was completely superfluous.
As you said at the time, laughable that you call that a subplot.
No, well, I also think it's hilarious that it's a subplot and they are subterranean, like it's coming from below ground. It does. Okay, whatever. It was completely superfluous. He should have gone on holiday.
Yeah.
Everything was stupid. It was annoying. The animus was shit. It died completely just out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. We don't really get a backstory to anything. We don't find out what the animus is. We just know that it now wants to kill everyone. I know you've put your shoes on, you want to leave. I don't care. 0.2.
I'd say that was a very fair review.
Thanks.
Very fair. So should we see what our listeners thought?
We have a very special listener review.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we leave it? Should we do it first or last?
I think we do it last.
I think we do it last.
Let's do it last.
Let's do it last.
All right, then. Reviews?
Reviews. Again.
Man, we need a jingle, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
So our first review comes from Davis of the Davis Principle fame.
Hey, Davis.
Davis is at ShrubThe, if you want to follow him on Twitter. Davis says, "So, I wasn't able to force myself to finish The Web Planet before today, but I have seen enough to write a decent review for a less than decent story arc."
He goes on, "What I have seen so far seems like a mix of random qualities of previous stories. From the Daleks, the Larvae guns, and the Edge of Discretion, Vicky got trapped in the TARDIS, to the Planet of the Giants. Take a guess." Squishing all of this together made for an awful story arc.
However, other qualities made it awful as well. For example, Vicky's acting was horrendous. Except when the Zarbi put the gold on her, she was really good at acting expressionless. And I can't forget the wonderful ear-piercing screams of the Zarbi. Finally, the blurriness of the atmosphere actually gave me a headache.
Finally, he says, "Overall, I would rate this story a 0.2. Only because Vicky seemed to live in the Matrix previously, and that was a good movie. In case you are wondering, I'm referring to when she tells Barbara that she can learn anything in about an hour in episode 1. Nice point, Davis.
So
Jesus Christ. And spot on with the mark, man.
I enjoyed these reviews a lot more than actually watching the episode, like a hell of a lot more. Anyway, who's next?
Next up, we've got Kyle Rath. People who are not Kyle Rath, check him out on Twitter. He is at Sinister Super Spy. That's super without any vowels. And if you are an avid listener of Who Back When, you will be familiar with Kyle's fantastic reviews. They are not so much mini reviews as maxi reviews. He has written another epic review. It is fan-freaking-tastic.
Now,
we're putting it on the website.
Don't get me wrong, Kyle. I love maxi reviews.
I love them too, dude. Seriously, we've just been doing a maxi review for 2 hours nearly.
Yeah.
It's like
we are maxi review central.
Yeah.
So I would encourage wholeheartedly everyone to read this whole thing because it is brilliant.
It is awesome, as per usual, by the way.
But as per usual, we don't have time to read the whole thing, so we're going to do it a little bit differently this time.
Yeah. As before, he has included a list of likes and a list of dislikes. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick some of our favourite likes and dislikes, and then we are wholeheartedly encouraging you to please go to the website and read this in its full splendour. Do you want to start?
Sure. So, one of Kyle's I didn't likes is useless props. It seemed like there was a bunch of leftover gadget ideas all tossed into this episode. The atmospheric density jackets, ADJs, that only work for an hour and have a strange metal breast cups on them that do what exactly? The wavy handy remote door opener that requires no power, aka the Swiss Army ring. The time and relative dimension link that is okay to get damaged or overloaded but must never be unplugged from the socket. I'm shaking my head.
All right, I'm actually gonna pick the second one now because it includes one of my favorite lines in this review. All right, so number 2 is alien-looking aliens. Sometimes less is more. In the beginning, I had a hard time trying to figure out why there were so many different types of insects on this planet. bees, ants, creatures that looked like you'd buff your car with them after a wax. It was confusing and seriously distracted from the story. On a related note, the zombie should never be allowed to talk again. Couldn't agree more. It reminded me of a toy laser gun with 18 sound settings from the 1980s. Having them silent would have been more menacing. And here comes my favourite line, by the way. And what the fuck is a larvae gun? I'm a parent. If my kid shot bazookoids out of its nose, I'd seriously be going to the ER. Just saying.
Nice. Let's hear some positivity about this. What I liked, and this is quite an interesting one, the story behind the story. I think there was merit to the background of this tale. An idyllic world, shared in harmony, turned on its head and fouled by evil. Discovered by the Doctor and his companions, who charge in and save the day, is a story I can get behind. Tremendous character building opportunity. Great backsplash for socio-political commentary on class structure, environmental and long-term resource dependence. Great story. Unfortunately, that's not the story. I'd say it's about right. Like that is true. That is absolutely true.
That is very true.
Way to find a silver lining. Actually, that's really good.
I'm going to go with what I liked, number one. The Doctor and the TARDIS. There was a very sad, beautiful moment at the end of episode 1, The Web Planet, when Vicky appears to have been whisked off in the TARDIS. The look on the Doctor's face and the emotion upon realising the loss of his beloved TARDIS was amazing. For the first time, we got a real sense of just how important that old blue box is to him. I'm just sad it didn't get carried over to when he finds it.
Yeah.
And that is actually a seriously good point, because there is like a hint of good acting here.
Yeah, and well, we were quite happy when it had dematerialised. I mean, that could have gone somewhere interesting when it dematerialised.
Yeah, like
she could have gone anywhere.
It seemed like it was going to go somewhere completely different.
Lost in time and space.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, she gets a spin-off series, but
I get that that's not the point.
No, that's not the point.
Is great acting.
It was like a dramatic, sad ending. It was this strange juxtaposition between her being, not just her, Vicky and Ian being, like, desperate. She's desperate in the TARDIS, he's desperate under the weed web thingy. And then the Doctor being just heartbroken, like, utterly emotionally demolished. It was actually pretty fantastic.
But unfortunately, they shattered the whole thing at the start of episode 2.
Oh, yeah. Like, he gets covered in ants pollution.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a great point. And, like, that's a brilliant way to find positivity. And overall, he gives this episode 1.8.
Yeah.
I think that's high.
I think that's very high.
But it's a respectful mark.
Yeah, and given the amount of, like, just given the levels of energy and dedication that he has put into this review, kudos. Yeah. Kyle, thank you so much. Really sorry for not reading it out loud, but the whole thing, but we've got a whole bunch of these. All right.
Our next review comes from Al, who is at phrase_Alex. That's phrase with a Z. And Al says, The Web Planet is the first, and I think only one of the only serials with an entirely non-human humanoid cast, excluding the Doctor's crew. Unfortunately, one species talks like slam poets and walks like interpretive dancers, while the others are constantly accompanied by never-ending ringing. But it's okay because the Doctor and crew have the tools to ward them off, like their respiratory comparator, atmospheric density jackets, the Doctor's magic mind control ring, larvae guns, and the TARDIS astral map. Just don't unplug it. You must never break the time and relative dimension link.
The odd visual effects, painfully annoying sound effects, and less than effective costuming all culminates in a serial the viewer has to slowly trudge through, presumably like the difficulty Hartnell had in filming this serial, as evident by his great hairdryer quip. Other detractors of this story include the Vaseline camera, the zombie running into the camera, Vicky's overall presence, and just about anything else not mentioned in this short review. This serial gets a 0.4, only for the opening chemistry of Ian and Bob, Hartnell's obvious displeasure, and the few irritated laughs at the wholly what-the-fuck nature of the story. Nice one, Al. Thank you very much.
I mean, as I was saying, I didn't even laugh at the what-the-fuck. I mean, like, obviously it is a what-the-fuck, but, like, just the embarrassment levels were too high to even, like, brush it off.
I know.
Great review, though, Al. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Next up, we've got Gina Guerrero. Gina, people need to follow you on Twitter. So people who are not Gina, check her out. She is at Gina Guerrero 1. That's 1, the number.
Gina, we salute you.
We salute you. Okie dokie. She starts off in a fantastically epic way. She goes, 2 points. 1, fuck Bill Strutton.
We said that at the start of every episode as we were watching it.
And 2, this was one batshit crazy story. I had the hardest of times keeping up with the story due to the disinterest and bleeding ears. Mm-hmm. The story tried really hard to be creative and innovative, but lost the plot in the process. I confess that I had to read Wikipedia to get a better understanding of the plot after I watched it.
Wish we'd done that.
The Davis Principle was fully represented with the TARDIS being trapped on the planet Vortis. The Zarbi were just giant ants, butterflies, and cybermat-looking aliens with little purpose. Very true, by the way, cybermats. The TARDIS crew seemed bored with the story, and Hartnell's irritation shined through his performance. Vicky was annoying and lackluster as usual.
The lack of music was so apparent due to the incessant bleeping noise made by the Zarbi that permeated every episode. The Vaseline on the camera lens during the exterior shots were just annoying. The Menoptera speech patterns and weird arm movements were confusing. What made me more annoyed was when I heard That's good. What made me more annoyed was when I read they hired a choreographer to come up with both. What a waste. The Animus and its cone of silence communicator proved to be pretty pointless and not that scary. So overall, this was a miserable story to sit through. However, I did appreciate the costumes and sets and the fact it was a sci-fi story. Barely. My rating of 0.6 for effort.
And she concludes, Je vous aime, mes amis, with 3 exclamation points.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Gina. Okay, 2 points. Number 1, great mini review. Brilliant. Number 2, you are fucking amazing.
I love the opener. I mean,
such a good opener.
You must open with impact. I mean, it's the key to all great writing. Fuck Bill Stratton. That is where you begin.
Dude, the 2 points. I am actually honoured. I feel so honoured. Gina, thank you so much.
It's mocking.
She's laughing with me. No, with me.
And finally,
we've got a special one. I gotta say something before we... Don't read this out.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, thank you very much. On Twitter, even though I didn't actively take part, a few of our listeners, among others, Gina, by the way, and our next mini reviewer, essentially competed to see who hated this serial the most. And one of them, namely JD, decided the best way to prove his utter loathing of the web planet was to, in fact, record his own mini review.
Which I haven't actually heard yet. I hope he just goes, bleep, bleep.
And, I asked, would he mind if we played it on the air? He said he would not mind at all. So, for your listening pleasure, here is the mini review of John David, a.k.a. JD, a.k.a. on Twitter at Marius Kane. That's Kane with a K.
Awesome. Here we go.
The Doctor, Ian, Barbara and the Pointless One land on the planet of Lens Flare, where the worst collection of monsters in the universe try to kidnap and abuse them. It's 6 whole episodes long. Oh god, we've finally reached the web planet. The good. Nope, nothing here. Move along. The bad. This episode contains possibly the most irritating, pointless, ridiculous, annoying, stupid thing in the 13 episodes that have gone so far, and the 207 that come after it. The start of episode 6 contains the following dialogue. The planet itself looks awful. It looks like the print is damaged every time they go outside, and the fact that they smeared Vaseline on the lens to get this effect just makes it absolutely awful to watch. Hartnell, of course, gets in on the hatred himself with his drop the hairdryer or whatever it is, drop it down, when the stupid mind control device that looks exactly like a hairdryer is in shot. The Zarbi runs into a camera and the whole picture shakes. It's like even the monsters have stopped caring by this point. The Optera sacrifices itself by sticking its head in a hole. It's meant to be emotional. It just succeeded in making me laugh. Probably not the emotion that they were in fact going for. Sorry, had to mention it again. It's really, really, really annoying. Vicky's emotion in this episode is giggling, with a side order of bland. Her irritation index is a 3.9, except in episode 1 where it hits a 4.8. And if you've listened to this entire review, you will know that my major complaint is the Zarbi sound effects. I wanted to make you suffer as much as I did. My ears are bleeding. Physically bleeding. After 6 episodes of this, I'm amazed to have any eardrums left. Overall, I give this story a 0.5. Harsh, but fair. It gets points for the Doctor destroying the Coal Hill tie, Barbara mentioning having a spring clean in the TARDIS and giving it a damn good clear out, Hartnell obviously hating this episode just as much as I did. They get points for going back and mentioning Nero's bracelet from the Romans. And finally, it gets points for possibly the oddest end credit in Doctor Who history. Insect Movement by Rosalind de Winter, which just sums up this episode entirely. This was the Web Planet. Never watch it.
That was the first time I'd heard it. Absolutely terrific.
Okay, full disclosure, that was the first time I heard it as well.
Just listen to it. And
oh my
that
god.
Was wonderful. Could not have picked a better soundtrack.
Yeah, you got to listen to the Knights Who Say Me in its full splendour there as well. Nice. Oh my god, I love the irritation index.
Oh, the irritation index.
JD, what can I say? Thank you so much, that was fantastic.
And may I say, I felt the pain all over again. So, thanks for that.
Yeah. Much appreciated.
Because we didn't have enough of it for, we watched all 6 episodes just before we recorded this podcast.
Yeah, I had actually seen the first 4 episodes already, but someone hadn't seen it before he arrived at my place, so I was privileged enough to see them again.
So, I think that concludes this episode of Who Back When?
Yes, it does. People, 2 things. Numero uno, social media. Please, like us on Facebook. Tell your friends to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. I'm at Ponkin. You are?
At One Too Many Mornings.
Yes, you are. Numero dos. There is one thing that we would massively appreciate. We don't want to pressure you in any way, but if you want to maybe leave a rating and or a review on iTunes, that would be super duper great. JD's already done it. Follow his example. I mean, I'm not saying leave a 5-star review, but if you hate it, just leave a 4-star review. So
we put the effort in.
Yeah, we do.
Marks for effort.
We're going to be back hopefully next week. What do you say, Flappy?
Yeah.
We're going to be back next week.
With The Crusade.
Yeah, we're back doing a historical.
Another historical. So it does seem to be we're going sci-fi, historical.
Yeah, it seems like it.
And as I commented to you off air, I think, honestly, the historicals have been more consistent so far.
Yeah, they actually have.
When the sci-fis have been good, they've been great.
Yeah.
But there have been a couple of bombs as well. The historicals have been consistently good.
If you've missed out on any of the bombs, just listen to this podcast episode again. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it.
I am almost assured that it's going to be of good quality, at least. Yeah. So, yeah,
and
very much
it's
looking forward
the
to it.
Crusade.
And,
if the Doctor isn't going to be a racist, I don't even know what to expect.
If he can't be a racist in this episode, he can never be a racist.
Okie dokie, thank you so much for listening. Rock on, shamalama ding dong, and catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flap side.
Ciao.
Who Back When?